Welcome to Second Act Podcast. My name is Justin Sims. I am joined by Janine Stella.
That's right.
Allie Severino. And Sam Ray is on the other side of the camera. But we're going to have an awesome discussion today. We hope that you're having a bright and happy New Year so far. Today we're going to jump into something that has changed my friend Janine's life in the last 6 months, and that's divorce. It's kind of funny, man. It looks like the three of us had some weird, like I got in between your guys' marriage.
Yeah.
We just divorced Justin.
Like, especially with that photo.
Right? He's like, screw this.
It's very, I'm a homewrecker.
This is like Jerry Springer. It's all about Jerry Springer right here. Like, who was in bed with who. It's awesome. I think it's great.
That's really funny, man.
That's great.
Well, there's a lot of ways this could have gone.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so first of all, let me just point out where everybody's at on the subject, okay? I am practically married. We're not really married. It's just a trip to the courthouse, really. And then we have Sam on the other side of the camera, who's about to be a newlywed.
Wow.
Yay!
And then we have Allie. Allie Severino produces asexually, actually. No, she, according to her, you never want to get married.
I'm not interested in marriage.
Not interested. And then we have...
I'm filing tomorrow, so I've been single for 6 months, pretty much.
So we're all over the spectrum. We've got
Yes.
every single part of the graph of relationship really covered in this room right now.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you a question. Why did you get married in the first place to this guy? We're not going to say his name, out of respect.
Why did I get married? You know, when you enter relationships that are based on codependency, I think you focus more on the codependency of why you're together as opposed to the reasons why you need to be together in a healthy relationship. And I feel like he was there for my dad's death, and he kind of took over, and I needed a best friend, and he was my rock, and I used that as, well, you know,
I'm obligated.
Right. He was there for me. I need to be there for him. It was more of an Italian, like, bada bing, loyalty, more of that.
It makes sense. How long were you together before you got married?
6 years.
So that's a long time.
Long time.
That is a while.
Married for
After 6 years, you're either gonna do it
Which way are we going here?
not do it.
Been together for 6
Did you
years.
want to get married?
I did. We got engaged, and then we broke up, and then we got engaged again. It was a tumultuous kind of relationship, but we agreed that we wanted to make it work. When you get married, you have every intention of trying to make it work.
Sure.
We had a beautiful wedding. We had our closest friends and family there. It was one of the best days of my life.
Still,
yeah, absolutely. One of the best days. But as time went on, it became unhealthy to be in that relationship for me.
what was the deal breaker? Like, if you could say, like, this was the deal breaker. Like, we all have those deal breakers. Like, okay, like, let's say we're all single in this room. I'm thinking about dating this person. There's certain things that will deal break if you're going to date the person or not. Like, they're a smoker. They're a druggie. They're, I don't know.
Broke.
They're broke. They're, there's all these things. They have no drive or whatever. So,
all the above.
all the above.
Probably all the above. I mean, my soon-to-be ex-husband has a mental illness. He takes medication for that. He self-medicates with a lot of marijuana. He has a medical marijuana card. So,
do you guys have kids?
No kids together. Okay. He has kids from a previous
that makes it
relationship.
easier.
It does. It makes it easier. But when you self-medicate and you become addicted to that codependency, I figured, if you don't have that, we can't have a normal conversation. There's something wrong with that.
So you're saying he had to have those things in order to function normally.
Exactly.
And
without medication and medical marijuana, there is the functioning aspect of him was not intact at all. And so it was like Jekyll and Hyde when I'd come home. I'm like, who am I going to come home to? I'm walking on pins and needles. I'm afraid to say something. I'm afraid to breathe wrong. I'm a prisoner in my own home. So it was affecting my mental health, my physical health. I gained 50 pounds after we got married. It was a very toxic relationship that I felt that, well, now I'm obligated because I'm married. I took that oath. So now, even though all these things are going wrong, I need to stick it out.
That Italian loyalty.
That Italian loyalty. I got to stick it out just because I made a vow to someone, because I made a promise to be there for them.
Even if it's not what's best for me.
Exactly.
I'm keeping a promise versus breaking a promise and doing what's best for me.
Exactly. Which, you know, in different generations, you know, people that got married in the 40s and 50s, I mean, they didn't know anything else. They're married till death.
Sure.
Whether it was good or bad or indifferent.
A lot of times I was the first person they dated.
That's right.
My high school
That's
sweetheart.
right.
Come on, we're going to have kids.
real.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like, you know, we had our ups and downs. I wish him the best of luck. Will always be a dear friend, but sometimes people just don't mesh together
Sure.
as a married couple, and people need to celebrate that separation just like they separated, or just like they celebrated the partnership
It's
itself.
like a business.
It is a business.
You know, I'm divorced, happily divorced as well. I've been divorced for 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't know you were
From-
married
Yeah,
before.
from my son's mom.
Wow.
I thought
Yeah.
you,
But see, my thing was I got married for the wrong reasons. She got pregnant. I put the Superman cape on. Got like 2 extra jobs. I'm working 3 jobs. Like, I'm going to be the man. Not a good reason to get married, you know? She's remarried since. She has 2. She's pregnant with another child. She has another child. She said she'll have had 2 kids in her other man. But it's been 5 years. But I mean,
Wow.
it was versus the relationship I'm in now. I didn't look at it like a business. Where my relationship now is like a business kind of.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, it
At
is.
least I feel like that's how it should be.
It should be.
Yeah. Well, like I feel like we're like a partnership that's like this machine
Like
that's
a power
getting
couple.
to goals on a realistic timeline.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
that's what
That's
it should
how
be.
it needs to
You
be.
know, versus like before. No offense, well, she's not gonna watch it, but my ex-wife, I wouldn't open a lemonade stand with her. You know what I mean? So, just saying. You know what I mean?
Now, what did your day-to-day look like when you were married?
Yeah, good question.
Day to day.
Like, you worked.
Well, in the first part of the marriage, I quit a job, and he's a business owner, so he said, why don't you work for me? So I was trying to do his bookkeeping, and he's like, you can stay home. You
Even
can
more
do-"
intertwined.
Right, so even more, it was
Good
more of
trap.
I felt controlled, though. More of like, now we're married, now I'm going to have you where I want you. And even though in his mind he may not have thought it that way,
That's how it's set
that's
up.
how it was set up, and
Yeah.
that's how it felt. And so I felt, and that's when the mental illness really started, because we got into a lot of financial trouble, because now there was one income coming in as opposed to 2.
Mm.
And with his mental condition, finance, he could not deal with that anxiety, that stress. So that
All fell on you.
all fell on me. It blew up. It turned into his truck being repossessed, and I mean, it was really, really bad. It was
Yeah.
really bad, and people don't know what it's like to live in that environment. And I'm not saying that people with mental illness should not be loved and have a nurturing relationship, but
Sure.
it doesn't mean that it has to be with me. It doesn't mean that just because someone has a mental illness that, you know, they can't be loved, but I'm just not the right person to love him.
Well, I think
just like
what
he's not the right
you're
person
trying to
to love
say
me.
is you shouldn't be obligated to stay with someone because they have a
Exactly.
mental condition. But there's
Because
plenty
there's
of
ways
people.
to
Yeah.
get better from a mental illness. You
For
know what I
sure.
mean? And have, like, you know, for some people, maybe, you know, I know people that have bipolar disorder, you know, manic bipolar disorder. But what they do is they eat healthy, they have a schedule, they go to the gym every day, they turn their phone off, and they are understanding of what's going on
Because they want to get better.
because they want to get better. So it's the difference of, do you want to get better or do you not want to get
Exactly.
If you don't, then it's like misery forever.
And under the proper medication too, not any, but a lot of mental illnesses can be contained. You know, so like I know someone. It's a guy. He's a huge recovery advocate, but his wife probably takes 10 prescriptions a day. But this is someone has a highly mature and functioning adult life, and their partner, business partner, wife, whatever, has this mental illness, but it doesn't hinder what they're trying to do in their life because she wants to get better. Like you guys said, she wants to get better, but she takes the medication she's supposed to take, and it helps. You know.
And people, you know, people love him. I mean, he's a great guy. anyone that meets him, he's very loving, he's very nurturing, he's a great person. But when you have certain forms of mental illness, you can only show your true self to certain people, and unfortunately I got the brunt of that.
Well, there's no hiding from you. You're the wife.
Right.
You
Yeah.
see me all the
I
time.
see it
The
all,
wife
right.
gets it the hardest.
I
Whoever
see it
they
all.
love or closest to, you're going to feel the most amount of pain from that person.
And you see me all the
Typically.
time. You see me when I get out of the shower. You see
Yeah.
me when I get home. You see me when
I'm
I
comfortable with you
wake
too.
up.
And it's hard to watch someone self-destruct when all you want to do is grow as a couple, but you can't see yourself growing, like you said with your partner. You can't see yourself growing and having goals with
Yeah.
someone who can't function, who has to look at the day-to-day.
Can't get past the
It's
day.
just, stuck in their own head. And it's really, it's upsetting to watch someone go through that in their own head. But at what point do you say, okay, you have all these resources available to you. I'm now a caretaker and I am not your wife. I didn't sign up for this.
the role switches.
The role switches. I need to make sure your lunch is made. I need to make sure your breakfast is made. I need to make sure your dinner. That's not what I signed up for.
Right.
So I think,
Which wasn't your promise
right,
that day
exactly.
when you took an oath.
Exactly.
It wasn't, I'm going to be, well,
Mom.
I'm going to be
Right.
mom or your permanent caretaker. I mean, it says, through sickness and health and all that. Yeah.
But it's a
But
partnership.
it's right. And that's
Yeah.
not to be all the time either.
It's not a babysitter.
So
Right.
was it a situation where there is medication that could make the situation better, but it's not being taken?
No, actually, quite the opposite. He is 100% on his meds. I mean, on it. Takes his meds. A lot of people with mental illness don't take their medication, and then subsequently they
Have
fall off the
episodes and
wagon,
stuff.
they get
Right.
manic, they have
Yeah.
episodes. But with him, no. Absolutely 100%. Took his meds, very responsible with that. But the medical marijuana was it was constant. I mean, if he didn't have that, he wouldn't go anywhere.
Do you
without
think
that.
the chemicals in the marijuana mixed with whatever meds he's prescribed had some weird
Something.
mix?
Something.
The pop rock soda mix?
Something. It had to have been something, because you can't be on these antipsychotic medications and then mix in medical marijuana
Right.
and think that,
Nothing's gonna
And
happen.
Right.
you're not a doctor.
and you're right, and you're not a doctor, so here you are
The
self-medicating.
doctor obviously gave it to him.
Right, exactly.
Right, but these two doctors aren't talking to each other.
Exactly.
So
no,
when I'm
that's
getting all
the scary
my
thing with
brain pills
healthcare.
over here, and then my
Exactly.
medical marijuana over here, and they don't
which
maybe
is
even know about each other.
crazy that you can do that, right?
It is.
We've done crazier shit, Allie.
I know, but you would think in 2019, Justin, that.
It's true. Yeah, well,
So, was there a thing that happened that was like,
yeah, was there,
okay, yeah,
what was
bye.
what was the,
It wasn't one thing, it was a combination. I think the one thing that really stuck out to me and my friends and family is my godson's christening. It was a beautiful ceremony, it was in a beautiful church, and that morning we got in an argument because he said it was my responsibility to make sure he was fed, and we were all trying to go to the church. So he started flipping out, and then we got to the church, and then the priest
flipping
said,
out about you not feeding him?
not feeding him. It was my responsibility. It was my fault that he wasn't fed. And then, because hangry is on a whole different level. Like, people say they're hangry, they have no idea.
Hangry on steroids.
But yeah.
yeah.
So we get to the church, we arrive late. The priest says something that just struck a chord in him, like an insecurity or something in him. He got up in the middle of the church and walked out. Sat in my car the entire ceremony. So then I had to explain, and I was done making excuses at that
Right.
point. Because when you
Make
what,
excuses for so long.
Exactly.
Like, you know what?
you're done at that point.
Like,
And
it's
you're at
not
a
even
once
my
in a
problem.
lifetime
This is your
thing.
Right.
problem.
You're done. I was done. So
Yeah.
instead of saying, oh, he doesn't feel good, or oh, blah, 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 making
Right.
excuses, I was like, I married a fucking asshole. That's what happened. And everyone was asking me, where is he? Where is he? And I'm like, it's not my responsibility. I am not his babysitter.
Did you feel more free
Absolutely.
at that time when you stopped doing all of that? You felt probably, it's a free feeling, right?
That's when I knew it was the beginning of the end,
Yeah.
pretty much. I was like, you know what? I don't know about all this. And then he got on different meds, and then it started to get better. But again, I think people need to understand that whether they have mental illness or not, if two people are meant to be together, they're meant to be together. If they're not, they're not. I am not a marijuana smoker. I don't like marijuana. I grew up in an environment where it was around all the time. People always smoked it. It was a normalcy in my home. And you know what? It's not me.
And he sounds like he's a pretty regular daily smoker.
Daily. Nonstop.
I mean, that's hard, man. If you don't like, I don't know, if you don't like the color orange, you would hate the show.
Exactly.
You wouldn't want to sit in here.
Exactly.
You wouldn't want to marry this room.
Orange is kind of sexy.
So what? Okay, so you get the divorce.
Yeah, let's get to
the
what's
juice.
sexy? Why is orange sexy?
Let's
get to the orange juice.
Let's get to the orange juice.
Okay, let's get
I
to like the orange Julius.
Let's get to the orange Julius. What is that place still around?
I don't know. They
Yeah,
used to
it's
be in every
actually
mall.
Dairy
Sometimes,
Queen.
right?
Right?
Yeah.
All the malls.
Yeah, the malls.
You
Orange
show
Julius
shopping and
still
have an
around.
orange Julius. Like,
Yeah.
how great was that in the 90s?
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
fly.
still.
Yeah,
it's
I
pretty
think
fly.
it's still
With my
around.
Jinko jeans and my Vans.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
My
Hell
God.
yeah.
And my chain wallet.
Oh, the chain wallet was
Just in case you're trying to
badass.
rob me.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? It's chained to me.
That's right.
Oh my God.
And then I can beat you with my chain. Where's my dinner? No, I'm just kidding. What happened? You were just like, I'm done. You filed for divorce. How was his reaction?
I'm literally filing tomorrow.
But he's got to know.
He knows. We've talked about it.
You're still
and-
living together?
No. He
That would
moved
be
out.
cray-cray.
Literally, I had sold my home that I had for 25 years. We moved into an apartment together. We wanted to start a fresh life, and things just got progressively worse, where I literally just said, I can't handle this anymore. Mostly, the straw that broke the camel's back was I had 3 bridesmaids in my wedding. My maid of honor and my cousin and my other college best friend. They all got pregnant at the same time.
Oh.
And he just didn't want any more children. And every time I'd bring it up, it was
Because you wanted children.
because I wanted children, and he knew I wanted children, but he would make comments like, you can't even keep a house clean. How are you going to be a good mother? You can't even...
Feed me during
Right.
your godson's christening.
Exactly.
wench.
Like, it was always... It's like, because you were a shitty parent to your kids who don't talk to you, you're wanting to project all of your insecurities onto me.
He might have done you a really big favor.
He did me a great
Yeah.
favor.
By
I don't
not
have to
having
deal
a
with
child
him.
with him.
It was
Because
great.
you're already dealing with a child,
Can't-
really, at the end of the day.
And that was at the end. I was like, you know what? If you want a baby, we'll have a baby. I go, I don't want a kid with you. I'm done
But
with
that's
this
a definite
relationship.
deal breaker. Oh, he said that to you at one point? He's like, if you want a kid, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Here, take my
yeah.
sperm. Take it, come here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, at that point, there's so many things that go into getting married. And I think that
Yeah.
the blinders go up when people just want to be married. And I think all my friends were getting married at the same time. People wanted to systematically,
The
you're
nostalgia
in
of
the
it.
nostalgia, right? You're in your early 30s. You want to get married. You
This
want to
is
start
right in the
a family.
timeline. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. What
Yeah.
else you got to do? Not let's focus on me. Let's focus on what I want. And I think that I just fell into that trap. And
I think it happens to women more than men, too.
For
Unless
sure.
you're named Allie Severino. But
Well, that's why people think I'm so, like, whatever. They don't understand that I'm not about the hype.
Right.
I don't want to get. I don't.
You don't have that
I will
clock
get-
ticking
Maybe I'll
over your
get
head.
married. I don't care. Maybe I'll get married when I'm 50. Maybe I'll get married when I'm 80 in the nursing home. I don't know. I'm sure it might happen.
I
I'm
can
not
see
saying
that.
that'd be so...
Right?
That'd be so
Like,
cute.
yo, I lived my life. I'm happy. You lived your life. Your kids are like 70 also now. So let's do this. I
We
don't
both
know.
have kids in our 70s.
Yeah.
In their 70s.
that's awesome.
But I just want to be able to, because it's and I want a prenup. If I do get married, I'm not saying I have anything, but I want to write my own contract with you, and we're going to put things in our contract that we want from each other, and that's it.
I saw an interview the other day that said even if you have nothing, you should get a prenup.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just, because it's kind of endearing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I want you to take the trash out every Wednesday. Like, I don't know. What if that's something that you want? It's something that you want. Like, but don't let the state of Florida write your contract for you,
Right.
because that's what you're doing. Write your own
Basically.
contract, and whatever. But yeah, so no, I don't.
But a lot of women are
Yeah.
not in that mindset. a lot of women, especially, we graduated in the year 2000. So a lot of the people we went to high school with have kids, have families.
For sure.
Some of them have grandkids, actually.
That's
right. There's a couple that have grandkids that we went to high school. Yeah, well,
oh, yeah.
That's
when we went to high school, there was a couple girls that were pregnant in school.
True.
So those kids are
now
fucking 20 years old.
Right.
And they've had a kid.
Yeah.
So, but besides that, I think that women a lot of times have that clock over their head. That invisible stopwatch. Tick, 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 tick. Time's running out. In 10 years, I can't have a kid.
Right.
So, I better make the decision. Wait, I'm not locked down. I better find the...
And now it's, oh my gosh, now that I'm single, all my friends are like, oh my God, you're 36. TikTok, you got to go freeze your eggs, because if not, and you don't find someone and get married and go through that whole process. Yeah, absolutely.
Go freeze your eggs, girl.
So now it's like, go do this, go do that. And it's like all these stressors that are in 2019 that we didn't have 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, boom, 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 keep up with the Joneses. You need to do this, to get that. And it's like, no, I write my own life. I'm the creator of my own life. I do what I want. It's taken me 6 months to really get back to being Janine. And that's, I think when you go through something like that, you have two choices. You can either continue the patterns that you've had and fall back into the same habits, or you could take a good hard look at your life and go, how did I get here? Why am I here? There's a reason, but I need to learn from it and move on so that I can grow. What kind of life do I
want to have?
That's right. You can create anything that you want to in life. You are your own creator of your own life. And anyone that says any different has no clue. You choose to stay in relationships, you choose to stay in situations. It is a choice. You make your own life. So if you want a certain lifestyle, if you want a certain life, you can create anything you want. And that's really what my life has been like in the last 6 months. I'm creating the ideal life that I want for myself.
That was a mic drop speech right there.
Right? That was good.
That was good stuff.
I'd like to think.
So, I think when anything important happens, in someone's life, be it a baby born, a divorce, a death, getting sober, it's about what you do with it. Because somebody said that to me when my dad died. They said, what are you doing with his death? Because if you don't do something with it, it's going to do something to you. And it was doing something to me really bad. So then I reversed it. I reversed the catastrophe. So you really have done something with this. And then they say that usually happens when somebody gets divorced. Like if me and her got divorced, one person really takes it harder than the other. And that's probably him.
Now, do you listen to a lot of Beyonce? I'm wondering.
Do I listen to... No, but I do extremely like lots of really... Cardi B and hip-hop and I love it.
What's fapping? That's cool.
Rick Ross, Future.
What?
Hardcore.
And you bump that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What has gotten me through this, honestly, in the last 6 months of my life, and I hired the most amazing woman in the world that I have to give a shout out to, who is a self-discovery life mastery coach who has taken me from opening my refrigerator door thinking I can't live another day, literally, to I'm on top of the fucking world. I can create anything I want. And that in itself is so powerful. But literally, my therapy for myself is I get in my car, I play my Pandora, I play the nastiest, dirtiest hip-hop music you've ever heard from the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah.
And I look so fucking white and waspy that people will never think. They're like, she listens to country. And then I get in my car and the bass rolls out and people are like, holy shit.
That's amazing.
But that's what makes... You gotta do in life what makes you happy.
She pulls up at the intersection. Lick my pussy and my crack.
That's right. That's right.
That's that Trina. That 1990s Trina.
That's right.
Oh my God.
That's where it's at.
So great.
Hey man, whatever works for you. Hey, I'm not hating. What would you say to him if he was watching right now as far as advice about how to move on? Because you've obviously really grabbed the bull by the horns. You have this new lease on life. He's not in that place. So if he was watching, or if somebody out there was watching, that it was affecting them negatively, what would you say?
I would say you always have to be grateful and have compassion for the other person, no matter what you think someone has done to you. No one has done anything to you. You've allowed someone to do it to you.
Mm-hmm.
You've allowed it and you've accepted it. No one can do anything to you or make you feel any type of certain way. You feel that internally. So what I would say to him, and for other people that are not in my situation, I would say, be compassionate towards that other person. You always want to take the good times, because obviously there were good times. You wouldn't have been together in the first place, right?
Sure.
So nothing is always the male is bad or the woman is bad or this person is shit. No, that's not
what sticks in our mind.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. It's, I loved him at one time. I'll always love him.
Right.
I only hope that he finds what he's looking for in his own life. Whatever's going to make him happy.
I think it's important you said, though, like an emotion even starts and ends with you. Like, if I'm driving down the street and Allie cuts in front of me and hits my car.
No, it's your fault.
Well, hold on a second. Before we get into whose fault it is, if I get angry,
Any rear ending.
but if I get angry, she didn't make me angry.
Exactly.
She might have been the reason for the accident, but I made me angry.
That's right.
Nothing she does is going to make me get over it. The anger starts and ends with me. I'm going to get over it when I get over it.
I mean, I bet if I bought you like a meter card.
Bro, yeah, I would get over it quick.
Play some loud Cardi B and just
Play some loud Cardi B and just ride
yeah,
out.
let's
Yeah.
say Cardi B. She fixes all problems.
I don't know. I saw a video of her getting elbowed in the head. Did you see that?
What?
No, she got something thrown at her.
No. She went
I
to
saw that.
talk to Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
And
They
walked
were
away with a
huge
knot
on
in
her
her
head.
head.
I know. But
And I was
she's
like-
still gangster. That's
I was like,
okay.
damn.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
Point Minaj.
Wow.
Not really.
Listen, if you and I don't like each other and you come up to my section and start talking and you walk away with a lump on your head, point for me. You don't get a point.
I guess.
You don't get how do you what? Think about it.
At least
Hey,
I
Allie.
walked up to you.
You're not my rival. Oh, there goes Allie. I didn't get a point for that.
No,
Touche.
I think you and I should be rap rivals. Is my thing.
I'm down. If I could do anything, I would totally be a rapper.
We need a
too.
rap rival too.
There's
if we're
no
gonna start.
better life than that.
I love being white and rapping, and that's another thing. Like I think what's funny is that like people assume because I'm white, I didn't grow up on food stamps or an EBT card or like in a 1-bedroom apartment, and it's like that was my life. Like shopping at like Walmart for clothes was like my upbringing.
That's
not
just my
called-
Because
life.
I'm white. Or I can't appreciate what it's like to come from Section 8 housing and rise above. Like, I love that. I think that that's like,
It's not called white rapping anymore. It's called white privilege rapping.
yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Just so
There
you
you
know.
go.
Yeah.
But I love rap because I feel like it really does talk about the struggle, and it really does talk about situations that people have never, they could not even fathom that could happen to them, and to be able to rise above that and to be able to be a voice to other people is fucking amazing.
What's one of your favorite verses ever? Just drop it right now. I know you will.
I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting pussy.
There you
Tupac!
go.
Tupac, motherfucker.
Gangster.
Listen, Tupac, if you listen to Tupac and you listen to his lyrics and then you listen to some of the stuff that's on today, I mean, they were pretty powerful messages. But
Well, it's not anywhere near the same.
Exactly.
Hip hop's in a very sad state.
T.I.'s
right
the
now.
man.
It
He's
is.
still around. He's keeping it 100 for everybody. T.I. is great.
T.I. is a great rapper.
T.I. is great.
You know?
Well, what are your? Before we get too
Can we
far
talk
off
about
track.
sex toys? What is going on with the...
Sex toys. Go
Oh,
for
I
it.
love sex toys. What?
Yeah, tell us what happened with that.
Okay.
Why is everybody looking at me?
Okay, so I think
Talk about
Post.
sex toys. Yes, and now on this part of Second Act Podcast, sex toys.
I mean, when you go through a breakup and you want to explore new things, you have to learn how to figure out who you are and what you like all over again. It's like a baby, you know.
Right. But were we talking like okay, a dildo? But you're talking like, see, when you started talking just now, I was thinking of some crazy shit.
Good, you should, because that's what I'm into.
Some crazy ass shit.
Crazy ass shit.
Okay, give me an example. Of
Fetish clubs, nipple clamps.
What is a nipple clamp? Versus like versus like a regular clamp.
Well,
like a metal clamp. That would really hurt a nipple. I would think.
Nice.
well, these clamps.
Every single person in the room
pressure
except you
points.
just grabbed their own boob.
They're like pressure points, you know, but like the, you know, people that are into S&M and things like that really enjoy that. It's about pleasure and pain at the same time, and
Right.
it's really interesting and really fun.
And you find out real quick if you're into it or not. I had a chick one time he punched me right in the mouth, and I was like, I'm not into it anymore.
Seriously, I've had that
You're just
too.
like straight, like I just saw stars for a second. Like, are we fighting or fighting? What do we do right now? I'm not into it anymore though. Don't
You gotta
beat me.
figure out, what you like.
Like,
you
yo,
hot
like straight up,
candle
like
wax, you
punch me like my brother did when I was in high school.
Are you kidding me?
I swear to God, right in my mouth. Bow! Like, if that was supposed to get a good reaction from me,
I was
it
slapped
didn't
once,
work.
and I was just like,
Yeah, me too. I paused. I was like, boop.
I was like, this is not
Yeah,
not
this is
continuing.
over. It's over now.
I'm just,
It was like the record skipped
But
and
it was,
fell
like,
off the
hard.
turntable.
it was hard, like straight up, bah, and I was like, oh, what the fuck?
But
Oh.
see, depending on the pressure, that could be really hot. Like that's a turn
I
on.
don't know.
So
Like-
you
like
found out
this-
you like this and you didn't have it before, or
Yes.
like what? Yeah.
I think that once you realize I think you take a good hard look at yourself, and as you grow and evolve as a person, you start to realize certain things that you really didn't like about yourself, and certain things you're like, wow, I didn't know I liked that. This is
I
fun.
didn't explore this as part of
Yeah,
my life.
this is fun. Not to say that you need to do it forever, but we only have one life to live based on whatever religion you believe in. And
Hello.
you really have to, live life to the fullest. And every day, that's what I've been doing for the last few months. Living life.
That's what's up. Well,
Yeah.
all right. So let's get back into the beating people shit. So
Yeah, I agree.
where is the line? Like what is the line?
What's your line?
Yeah, what's your line? Like a drop elbow from the top rope?
Well, I'm not
Like-
I'm not into beating. I'm not into that. But
Right.
I do believe that every couple should have a safe word. And that safe word needs to be honored. Because if you don't have a safe word and you're doing something that makes the other person uncomfortable, then it doesn't make it
Then
fun
you're just
anymore.
screaming Mississippi
Yeah,
really weird
it's
for
not
no
good.
reason.
Not good.
Mississippi?
Not good.
Why you keep saying that? I don't know. It's not our safe word. I'm just saying
Yeah. Not good.
Is it like Christian Grey, 50 Shades Grey stuff? That's like you like that
on steroids, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Now
Probably.
okay, now for me and all the men watching that haven't
Details.
read 50 Shades of
We
Grey.
all know you've seen the movie.
I haven't seen the movie.
Okay.
What?
Actually.
Any of them?
Okay,
Any of
so
them?
basically, his name's Christian Grey, and about
I know what
anyone
it's
would do
about.
anything for him because he's so rich and pretty good looking
hot,
and
whatever.
has steel or whatever, gray, whatever. Anyway, yeah, he's hot. So
He's
he
pretty
finds
cute.
this nice girl, nice,
Homely girl.
homely girl, yeah. And basically, hangs out with her. I think she's even a virgin past,
I
right?
think so.
And he gets her to sign a contract to be his sub.
His submissive.
Yeah.
He's the dominant, she's the submissive.
And
Pet-
she's like,
pet
what
virgin.
the fuck?
Yeah.
She doesn't know what's going on. It's
But she signs it.
well, he's very charming and endearing.
I don't really know
super
what's going
into
on,
him.
but you're so
But he
charming.
has a red room.
Well, he gave her really good
It's
cock, and
orange.
she's
We
like,
have an
I'll do
orange
whatever
room.
you want.
Yeah, I'm good.
You
Okay,
gave me
let's set
great
it up.
cock. I gotta sign this,
Yeah.
immediately.
And so he has this red room, and he has all this stuff in there.
It's like his dungeon.
Like sex stuff.
Like a sex
Like a
Yeah.
sex dungeon, right.
and she has
They
to
call it
follow.
the Cave of Clitoris, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Nice.
So she has to follow all these certain rules and
Don't die! Please don't die!
Cave of clitoris.
It's fun. It's so cute.
I'll
And
take
they
you
get
there.
Married. They
Here,
end up getting
just-
married.
I'll pass you guys out. You can't know how to get there.
It's in the next room, right
It's in the
here.
next room. It gets more red as we go.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's it. They get married.
So my. Ollie, the reason why I was asking is because she says that she's this gray guy on steroids. So what I don't know the gauge of the gray guy.
Oh, he's pretty. I mean, he'll go to what the
He'll smack a
person's
hoe.
comfort level is.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
Well, they have,
paddling,
paddles
there's
and stuff.
there's all different
So paddle on steroids
Paddling.
is what? What I mean.
rider crops. There's all different things that you
Rider
could do.
crops.
Rider
Oh,
crops.
Like the
like
leather,
for the
like a
horse.
leather,
Slap.
blindfolds. swings.
See, we were talking about deal
restraints.
breakers earlier. All those are deal breakers for me.
Like restraints.
All of them?
All of them?
Maybe not all of them, but like she
But I
starts
think-
hitting me with horse shit. I'll be like, listen, do it again. It's over. It's
You're
over.
really
Right
like a
person.
I'm not your horse, bitch. Like
When you're with the right person, though, I think it's like it's fun to experiment. It's all in the relationship
yeah.
and the
Yeah.
intimacy and the
Uh-huh.
chemistry
Yeah.
of the people.
Everyone's different.
Everyone's different.
Yeah.
If any boyfriend I ever had in past relationships tried to do anything like what I'm doing in my current situation, I would think that they were nuts. But it just depends on your partner.
But that tells
I
you
think.
too how
And where
much you've
you're
grown
at,
as a
and
person,
yeah,
how much
that's
more
right.
comfortable you are.
That's right. You got to embrace that. When you're 36 years old and you're like 40's right around the corner, I'm not getting any younger. You just have to kind of go for it.
Have you ever been to a swingers club?
No, but I've been to a fetish club.
What is that?
Oh, those are fun.
Well, it wasn't in state
Sorry.
because in the state of Florida, it's like underground, like
Yeah, in Orlando, Fetish Factory.
Fetish Factory. But it's like there's a whole underground website. I don't know if you guys have heard of FetLife. FetLife is FetLife is badass. So you go onto FetLife
Missed it.
and you sign up and like you can like say what you are, like what you're looking for. Are you a dominant? Are you a submissive?
I can
Are
be
you
like
a sadist?
cankles.
Like
Oh,
what
so
are
it's like
you
kind of like a
into?
dating site, but like for
Correct.
fetish.
And because in the state of Florida, though, but you can do it all over the world, so you can
Right.
talk to people. But in Florida, there's not like laws that are I mean, you have to know someone, and the way you find out about events is through FetLife because
Yeah.
otherwise, people wouldn't know.
So there's like all these channels you have to go
It's
through
like
to like
illegal?
get to the door where you're knocking and the guy's
Pretty
like, what's
much.
the code?
Pretty
and you say the
much.
right thing and like you ruin it. Everybody's
Pretty
like
much.
smelling
I don't
some
know
woman's
in
foot
Florida
or something.
why it's like that, but in other states that are extremely liberal, it's a very normal thing. I mean,
Right.
I've been in other states, not to say what states they are, but there's a particular. What was that?
That's a fetish factory next door to us.
hot.
They have
Like a
they're into
crowbar.
metal
That
and
was like a
stuff.
crowbar.
Yeah,
They put
get
you
whacked
in a
by-
room and you can't get out until you get all the puzzles right.
that's right.
Yeah, there's good. There's
That's an
good.
escape room actually.
Yeah.
I have a whole story that could be in a movie of my experience going into a fetish club. It was
Huh.
fucking insane.
dress up?
How can I
Or
get in there
like
like undercover, dude?
You have to dress up in
Well,
like
let's just put it this way. I went and the bouncer at the door thought I was in the wrong place. Like I looked it up on Yelp ahead of time and I was like, "Oh, where can I go for like a good kinky time?" And I showed up and there was this red door and I'm like, "Okay." And the bouncer said, "Do you know where you're at?" And I said, "Oh, absolutely." And he's like, "I don't judge." And then I walked in and it was like a whole experience.
How many people were in there?
A lot of people. There was like
100?
And do you
maybe-
meet random people in there?
Yeah.
you can meet random people. See what had happened was
Oh, good.
you walk in, you sign a waiver.
Saying what?
Oh,
You're not gonna
wow,
sell over your
waiver.
feet.
Well, no, you have to sign a waiver. You can't get out of hand. There's no alcohol or drugs allowed. Period. It's
Okay.
completely
I could dig it. I could see how it could get really out of control.
correct. So they have
Yeah.
rules. There's
With those
rules.
things, yeah.
Correct. So there's rules and guidelines. There's safe word. So if you're with a partner and they say that safe word, like you have to abide by that, which is really good. But it was so badass. Like I walk in and there's like an auction going on. I'm like, "Oh my God, these people are being auctioned off." So basically you have this fake money and you bid on people. Like if you're a dominant and and you want a submissive, you can bid on a submissive. So a submissive can go on stage and she can be like, "I'm a submissive. I'm looking to
Be submitted.
be submitted. I'm looking to do this or that." And so as soon as I walked in, I'm like listening to this auction.
Now, how's
like,
the fake money work? Like you buy $20,
like
gives
illegal
you
to
50
do it with, like, real money?
Monopoly
right?
money.
It's exactly. It's not real money. It's kind of like monopoly money. So that way you can't really.
You buy, but you
It's
buy
not
the
like
money.
trafficking type thing.
Yeah.
Like we're
Right.
talking like.
But it's not
It's
free.
willing.
Not everybody gets
Crazy.
$2 million of fake money when they walk in or anything.
Correct.
So you have to buy some
So
of
you have
it.
to correct, and then once you meet your partner, or you can ask, they basically, you're contracted basically to do what that person has, what you bid them for.
One more quick question about the auction. Is the guy running the auction like...
Totally not.
Oh, damn.
Damn it!
And it's
Dude, that'd
really
been fucking
cool.
awesome.
Like, it's
Yeah,
a
that'd be
super
funny.
cool environment because people are like all shapes and sizes. There's no judgment. It's like a no judgment zone.
That's cool.
So there's people that are 400 pounds. There's people that are, you know, completely naked. People are walking around like no inhibitions whatsoever. And it's super cool. There's no judgment.
Now, is everybody involved in what's happening? Or are there like a couple like, you know, like shitty casino and slot
Oh,
machines?
no.
That like people are
No.
sitting there naked playing?
There's like a play area, and you're not allowed to talk. Like, you're not allowed to, like, if you and I went there and we wanted to just observe, we could do that, but we're not allowed to talk about it because it makes people feel uncomfortable. So we're allowed to observe.
Ah.
So there's
Oh, that's
cages,
nice.
and there's swings, and there's people being suspended, but you're not allowed to, unless someone invites you to partake, you're not allowed
Are
to
they having sex?
comment.
Are there people having sex?
Oh, absolutely. There was people having anal sex. There was transsexuals there. There were...
So there's just people banging in different parts of the...
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is there a smoking section? Are you allowed to
No.
smoke?
Another good question.
I don't know.
Right. Or is it like the smoking sections back in the day when they were like, there was like a plant. They're like, smoking or not? Non? Okay, right here past the plant.
That's a really
And it was
good
still a
question.
smoking section?
I don't know.
Or are there people like, bang her harder?
No, I didn't see that.
So they weren't smoking.
But I think my jaw dropped a few times of some of the things that
Oh,
I
I'm
saw.
sure, dude.
Like
Yeah.
this beautiful, sexy blonde from the back that I was like, oh my god, this blonde is like gorgeous. And then
Monster
There's a
cock.
guy.
she turned around and it was a dude. And I'm like, oh my god, you've got beautiful long blonde hair, great tits, and a huge cock.
And this beautiful set of balls.
And I'm
Oh my
like,
God.
what is going on? It was like something out of a movie. I felt like
I just peed a little when you said that. Not a lot.
I mean,
Chill
like,
out, dude. But
can
that's
you
scary
imagine?
as shit.
You're looking,
Sam.
you're
With the
looking
pee,
like,
I don't get it.
That's scary,
like
bro.
pretend you went to a strip
I'm on
club.
TV talking about pee, right?
And you're looking at this hot blonde
you're
walking
looking
in front,
at
and you're looking at her
female.
hot ass, and you're like, yeah. And then you get in front of her, and you're like,
See, that's why I trust nobody. That's why I'm an old man. I'm like, good, found one, lock it down, get married. Nah, because I don't want to play with that. Ooh, she's hot. Whoa, bro.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, you
Insane.
know,
That's more common nowadays.
Dude, I'm
too.
saying, though, that's why I'm
It is
glad I'm not
common.
in the game anymore.
It is.
deceit.
I'm
It's
so glad I'm not in the
deceitful.
game, dude.
No.
It's
'Cause
like
I'm
the
so-
crying game. Remember the crying game?
Yeah, and he scrubbed himself like pretty
Oh my
stuff.
god.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
when I was younger, used to go to what was Club Exit at a time. and
Oh
it was
my
just like,
god,
you went there, it's so
Exit.
fun.
Wasn't it 18?
Yeah,
I
it
know,
was
everybody
like-
went in and then just exited. Never mind.
You had to be-
What
it
was
was-
exited? Was it like in a certain?
No, it was
exit?
just called
Whoa.
Club
like.
Exit.
Was it like enter in a certain? I don't know. Go
No,
ahead.
it was just like,
Anal
it's like a two-story
fetish
club.
party.
It's like a remake of a club from New York. I think they have a Club Exit, but it was a underage club. Okay, so you think, oh, underage club, right? No alcohol, but everyone's rolling face like
Yeah,
that.
it's like a
It was
little
fucking
rave
fun.
kind of.
Those are actually some of the
It was so
craziest
fun.
ones.
I
The
used-
underage
I
clubs
got
are worse
arrested
than
because of
regular
this place.
clubs.
Oh, definitely.
It was insane. So, but because you can stay open later, there's no alcohol being served, but everyone's fucking lit.
There's a lot of fights and shit like that, too.
I turned
Nice.
around and I went through this one room, and it was kind of like that. One day there was like this people suspended from the ceiling, and then I looked over and these two were like banging on this couch, and like the guy like made eye contact with me, and I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
oh my god.
He's
I
like,
think they're
hey.
having sex.
Hey.
Yeah, and in front of a million people.
Bounce
And
the
it's not like
bomb.
that was like my closest experience to that.
Wow.
I was like, this is lit. Well, lit wasn't around then. That wasn't like common term.
It
Yeah.
was on its way to being lit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't
was
even
like-
remember what the term was.
Yeah, I don't know what did
Every
people
day
say
we
back
lit.
then.
Cool.
That was wild. I was like, yo, they're banging right there. And my friends are like, wow. And then I ran into two guys like making out. I was like, oh my god, like this place is crazy.
It's crazy.
You know what's
man.
crazy?
Wow.
When you're in a fetish club and someone comes up to you and says, "You're new here. Would you like a welcome spanking?"
Oh,
That
What?
was.
did you say yes?
I
That's
said no, but
crazy.
it was like, "Oh, you're new
I said
here.
no.
Would you like a welcome spanking?" Sure. You're an absolute stranger. I'm gonna take off my clothes for you and have you spank me. Like it
You
was.
have to get naked.
And you're sober.
And I'm sober.
That's
Like,
even worse.
Yeah, right?
it wasn't
that ain't gonna
happening.
work.
Like, it
I'd be
wasn't-
like, yeah, you
No,
can spank the
no,
shit
no,
out of
no,
me
it
after
was
I
not
finish this
happening.
whole bottle of Jack, motherfucker. I won't feel shit. Y'all can, everybody can bang me later if you want. Run a whole fucking train on me. I ain't gonna remember shit.
That's right.
So have you made friends at these places?
Well, FetLife is pretty cool because you get to, it's like an underground
'Cause
scene.
you can
but
chat
get
with
to,
people.
yeah, you can chat with people and you can figure out events and like, I'm not super into it, but it's something out of the box that I never knew existed. It's like a whole
There's something maybe you would have
subculture.
never done.
Yeah,
or
and it was
thought
fun.
about,
It's
or
like-
you had a good experience.
Yeah, when you're random on Yelp and you're like, what do I do on a Saturday night in this state? I didn't know what I was getting into, but
And you
I'm
went
so
alone?
glad I did.
You
I
went by
did.
yourself?
I
Oh my
did. It
god,
was fun.
that's like
That's brave.
ballsy.
Yeah.
It was
I
fun.
couldn't do that.
I was just an observer.
Yeah, but you know
But
what?
I would like to observe with someone.
For a divorced
So we
woman
can talk
that's
about
like,
it.
now I'm living life, it makes sense that she could be like, I have the power to go in this place by
That's
myself.
right.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right.
What else have you done?
Well, I
Do you have a
joined.
boyfriend? Do you have anything?
No. I just I play. I play.
Playmate.
I like that.
I have a playmate. Like in the sandbox when you're in kindergarten, you have a playmate. But no, I think it's fun to just get into self-discovery, and I've lost 30 pounds in the last 6 months, and I've got
Good for you.
yeah. I joined Orange Theory. Ha ha! It's funny.
Well, we actually
Orange
came
is
to
the
balls.
color.
Just
Yeah,
for
Orange
you.
Theory's great, and so it's been really great to just like hit it hard and get that frustration, get that serotonin
Mm-hmm.
back up to
Yeah.
par.
Well, I'd love to one day, man. Maybe we should do a little documentary. Maybe we should. I would totally check
I'll
it
go.
out. Will you go?
Yeah.
Bomb diggity.
Jessica would check it out, man.
Yeah, we got it. That'd be fun.
I think as a group,
So
yo,
much
let's
fun.
do it. Like as a group,
We should. We
and
should
like,
totally do
and like,
it.
and like, maybe we should document. Like, obviously, they're not gonna let us take cameras inside.
Yeah.
But we could document like our road trip there,
Right.
And then like our reaction after.
When we walk out, like,
Let's do it. I can log on to FetLife and find out when there's events, and we can just show
what's
up.
gonna be seen cannot be unseen. Though.
That's right.
Yeah, it's true. So
Like-
I'm down.
Yeah.
Take
What
the
do you think?
craziest porno that you've ever seen, and then put it in front of you in real life.
That's not true. I used to have illegal cable. There's no way. There's no
What was
way.
on, wait, Justin, what was on your legal cable? Tell me. Like midgets and stuff?
All right, check it out. So my
Horses?
apartment in Brooklyn.
Horses, there's horses
My apartment in Brooklyn, okay? I had illegal cable. And obviously like every single pay-per-view fight, boxing, whatever, every single one of my friends would come over and watch at my house. And in between fights, somebody's always I had like 8 porn channels. So they were like always all the dudes were like in between fights were on porn and they always found the nastiest shit. It wasn't like they were watching some hot chick. They would find the nastiest shit and be like, "Oh, that's dreadful, cool." You know what I mean?
Like
and
what? Like define
like,
nasty.
all right, so I saw.
She's trying to dig. You gotta
Right.
give details.
Look at him, he's looking down like,
He's like, I can't even talk
So
about
bad.
this.
All right, so
The internet's forever,
I saw
guys.
a porn called I saw a porn called Heineken. All right. No, I swear to God,
Heineken?
Heineken, like Heine underlined, and it was like it was Europe, it was European, but like they had this girl bent over, and another girl and a guy, and they had Heineken bottles,
Oh,
and they
no.
shook them up, and they stuck them up this girl's butt, seriously, and like foam and shit is like coming out, and they're like rubbing it on themselves. I'm telling you right now, if I walk in this underground FetLife and I see that shit, I'm club exiting that shit. Straight up. I'm telling you, I used to have illegal cable. There's some shit that I saw that there's no way that's happening in a club right now.
I think people should talk about this subject more because you know what? We are animals and we need to be animalistic.
That shit was very animalistic.
And,
I'm talking.
You know, we're in a padded room, kind of. I mean, I think that things...
I saw beef curtains that hang lower than any ball sack. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
Listen, guys, we're gonna have Janine come back on another day, but we wanted to bring you into our world for a day.
How fun is that,
This
too?
is
A newly
great.
divorced,
so fun.
36-year-old, liberated, empowered woman. She dyed her hair blonde recently. Do
I
you
did.
have more fun?
Way more fun.
Yo.
Fearless.
Way more fun.
Yeah.
Blondes are
Do
the
you get
best.
hit on more?
I do.
Yeah.
It's really hot.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's the hair, though. I think that's just the
No, they did a
aura
lot
of the
of-
energy
No.
of
Yeah. The whole...
being confident.
They did
Yeah.
studies that says blondes get catcalled
Oh, I'm sure.
much more.
But I think she would have had the similar
'Cause
amount of
she's
guys
walking
hitting on her
different
now
now.
because she's got a little step.
Yeah.
Stella got her groove back.
Stella got
Stella
her
got her
groove
groove
back.
back. Yeah.
Amen.
Love it.
But I want to have you on another day and interview kind of like we did with Allie and go into your life and stuff because I know obviously went to school together, so I know a lot of you. You know, you grew up in a very unorthodox environment.
Yes,
And,
I did.
and a lot of the stuff that you went through, including the divorce and coming out of that, I think a lot of people can relate to. So we'll have to do that on another episode because we are out of time. But for Justin Sims, who is me, Janine Janine Stella, Allie Severino, and Sam Ray, thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.